She was a rising star, appeared in several movies, and had been a centerfold for Playboy magazine. There's no mystery surrounding her death. She was murdered by her estranged and insanely jealous husband, who put a shotgun to her head and pulled the trigger, then killed himself. Heather O'Rourke, only 13 when she died from an intestinal stenosis. She was the little girl in the movie Poltergeist who got herself a bit too involved with some ghosts inside the TV set. She became famous with the single line of dialogue, "They're back." The actress Dominique Dunne, who played Heather's older sister in Poltergeist, also died tragically young at the age of 22. She was strangled by her ex-boyfriend in the driveway of her own home. Natalie Wood, seen here with James Dean talking over a scene with the director for the movie Rebel Without a Cause, was said to have had a deep-seated fear of the water, and apparently for good reason. While taking a short break from filming, she was vacationing on a yacht at California's Catalina Island with her husband Robert Wagner. It was reported that she was trying to get into a dinghy when she fell into the water and drowned. The magnificent Carroll O'Connor. Who else could have transformed themselves into such a lovable bigot, with his portrayal of Archie Bunker in the TV show All in the Family? It was so recent that he left us that his name is not yet on the stone. Right next to him lies Jack Lemmon, perhaps best remembered for his performance as Ensign Pulver in the movie Mr. Roberts. Who could ever forget Robert Newton in the movie Treasure Island as Long John Silver?
The treasure of an empire! And it's mine! All mine!
And other famous celebrities are here, among them Donna Reed, Mel Torme, Cornell Wilde, Daryl F. Zanuck, Dean Martin, Eva Gabor, Walter Matthau, Burt Lancaster. Thousands of people every year visit these celebrity grave sites. What is it that brings them? At Hollywood Forever, here is one man's reason.
But I wanted to come this year for a very specific purpose. That is that I just directed and starred in a short film about the death of Rudolph Valentino. And it was about 3 days before we filmed that I realized that it was the 75th anniversary of his death, that it didn't really occur to me. And then we thought it would be, we have to come out for this. And it was an interesting turnout, I thought. It was a lot of different types of people, young and old, white and black, and all kinds of, which I think speaks to the staying power of Valentino, and also to the power of a cemetery and life and death, and people wanting to come to a place that is specifically for thinking about these things. And this is one of the most beautiful ones I've been to. And you see people, they come for Valentino, but then you see them sort of drifting around and wandering and going to other places. I mean, this is Doug Fairbanks here, and then there's Cecil B. DeMille over there, and as I understand it, about half of the Little Rascals are in here.
Boy, but don't they look good? Well, if you had a dime so we could get some.
Carl Alfalfa Schweitzer. He was the freckled, squeaky-voiced kid in Our Gang movies from 1935 to 1942. He had a very successful childhood career, but as an adult in 1959, things went real sour. Carl was drunk when he tried to forcefully collect a $50 debt from a friend. The friend defended himself and shot poor Alfalfa dead. Darla Hood, the cutest of the Little Rascals, is also here. She sang and danced and made the boys miserable from 1935 to 1945. She died in 1979 of acute hepatitis while in the hospital for a minor operation. Cecil B. DeMille. His career as a producer and director spanned 5 decades. Some have called him the founder of Hollywood. He was the master of the spectacle and spectacular. He made over 70 motion pictures, including The Ten Commandments and The King of Kings. Another great movie talent is here, actor, writer, director John Huston. He received 2 Academy Awards for The Treasure of Sierra Madre as both writer and director. He also directed The Maltese Falcon and The African Queen. He died in his sleep from complications of emphysema and was laid to rest here in 1987. Not far away is the grave of one of the most handsome and gifted leading men ever seen on the big screen, Tyrone Power. Darryl F. Zanuck, head of 20th Century Fox, gave Tyrone his first break when he cast him in Lloyd's of London in 1936, and his career soared. By 1939, he was the number 2 box office draw, second only to Clark Gable. Marion Davies, a silent screen star appreciated for her humor. She got a lot of good publicity, very possibly due to the fact that her boyfriend was William Randolph Hearst. And where is Clark Gable, the king of all movie stars? Here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale. Gable is best remembered for his role of Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. And at his side lies the love of his life, actress Carole Lombard, who died tragically young in an airplane crash in 1942. She was 34. To some visitors, these grave sites are sacred places. It's as though they knew these celebrities, knew their names and familiar faces, welcomed them in their TV living rooms like family. Yet some grave sites are off limits to the public. Beyond these gates, many stars are spending their eternity in privacy. Jean Harlow, for example, the Marilyn Monroe of the 20s and 30s. Harlow was the original blonde bombshell, sensuous and vulnerable. Howard Hughes cast her in his first sound movie, Hell's Angels, and she became a star and a tragic figure. She died unexpectedly of kidney failure in 1937 at the age of 26. Another siren of the silent era, Clara Bow, is here. She was called the It Girl. She once quipped, "The more I see of men, the more I like dogs." She died in 1967. And there are other familiar names here. Sammy Davis Jr., Nat King Cole, Dorothy Dandridge, who was the first African American to be nominated for an Academy Award. Walt Disney is here, and Jimmy Stewart. Producer Samuel Goldwyn, W.C. Fields, Spencer Tracy, and that swashbuckler extraordinaire, Errol Flynn. Here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park of Hollywood Hills, among others, you can find Lucille Ball, Bette Davis, Ernie Kovacs, Dorothy Lamour, Stan Laurel, Liberace, and Ozzie Nelson.
I think in the earlier years of this cemetery, the funerals were almost part of the studio system, especially for those stars like Barbara Lamar or Valentino, those who died young, still in their prime. The studios really publicized the events. There were tons of photo opportunities. The leading ladies would come and also, faint and be a part of the drama. And I guess if I jump 80 years ahead to,